I was sexually abused as a child by our Catholic priest at the time. He was a very dear friend of my parents, and so they felt any time I spent with him would be quality time spent in a mentoring relationship. That abuse lasted for 4 years. I held all that inside of me, fearing my parents. They were devout Catholics, and I couldn't imagine having their son question the character of this Catholic priest who was held up high, in high regard in our community. And so I held it all inside. I didn't want to tell my wife. I was afraid of what that would do to our relationship. I was afraid if she might think differently of me as a man or as a husband, as a provider. I didn't know, and I didn't want to introduce such a sick and disturbed story into my marriage. But of course, my wife did not respond in any of those ways. She responded to me with outrageous compassion and love and understanding. And that moment was then and continues to be my primary act of recovery, telling my wife my story of childhood abuse. Telling my parents was one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to do. We cried and cried and cried on the phone until we couldn't cry anymore. I never thought as a 12-year-old boy telling any official of the church that this abuse occurred by a Catholic priest, but now as a 48-year-old man, I thought, I know I'm going to be scared, but I'm going to do it. In the back of my mind, I thought, were they still going to deny the abuse occurred or question my character? I didn't know. It was August 24th, 2006. That's a date that will live on in my brain forever, because it was the day I confronted the Archdiocese of Chicago and told them my story of abuse and how that abuse affected me and how that abuse affected my family. I'm happy I did it. I'm very proud of myself. It was exhausting. It was emotionally, draining. But that day was another great day of healing in my life and in the life of my family. It's not over. When you've kind of gone through counseling and you talk to the Archdiocese officials, it's not over. So I wrote a letter to Cardinal George. His office responded to me, as he does to all victims of clergy abuse, by offering if I would like to see him. And I said, yes, I would like to see him. And so through that meeting, the idea of the Healing Garden was created. It is colorful and warm and inviting. It is a wonderful place in the heart of the city of Chicago to reflect, to breathe, to pray, to be informed and inspired about healing from abuse in our church. And it's a wonderful place to be.